Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This is another in our series of hidden gems. This time we're going to talk about 1975, 1977, Space 1999. This is pretty much a British TV show, kind of almost a British TV show version of Star Trek. It starred Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. Now, this told the story of this base that was on the moon, but because of a nuclear explosion on the moon, it caused the moon base Alpha, to go hurtling into space and escape the gravitational pull of the Earth. This would be more of a problem on Earth than on the moon. It would have wiped out a lot of things because of that. Let's talk about two of the main characters on this show. Okay, there's John Connick, played by Martin Landau. Now, the whole time I was watching this show, I remember even as a kid, it looked like he didn't really take this show seriously. He played it kind of tongue in cheek a lot. He did a lot of overacting in this show. But he did a pretty good job. And then there's Barbara Bain, who played Dr. Helena Russell. Now, she was kind of like the Dr. McCoy on this show. She was kind of like the stabilizer. Whenever things got kind of crazy, she would like come in and like stabilize whatever the situation that was going on. Now, the funny part is that Martin Landau and Barbara Bain were married at the time when the show was on. They actually were on the TV show Mission Impossible, but they left it to do this show at all. Now, they weren't the only kind of main characters to me. There were two other actors in here that were, I guess you could call them co-stars. And that's Barry Morse, who played the science officer, Victor Bergman. Now, I think they made him, he'd be kind of really emotional because they didn't want him to be too much close, like Spock on Star Trek. And then there's Catherine Chanel, who played Maya. Now, she was a shapeshifter. She didn't come in the second season, but she would change all into like any type of animal or creature, depending on what they were being, they had to deal with here. I feel like they brought her in here on the second season to kind of pump the ratings up because she was really an interesting character, and people kind of got, oh wow, she's on that episode, and they would really watch the show because of her. They knew they would change into something. You got to remember, this is 1975, 1977. Now, this show was basically, your adventure of the week. While the moon was hurtling through the galaxy, they would run into alien civilization and then a lot of mind-bending phenomena. They were spending the whole time trying to get back to Earth, kind of like Star Trek Voyager. Now, what is the lasting impact of this show? This show really became a cult hit, really through syndication, or like how I found it. Came on PBS on Saturday night here in this town where this show was filmed at. But it had a long-ranging impact, especially like the ships. Eagle One, right here. It's a pretty cool-looking ship to me. So much so that when George Lucas was doing Star Wars, he did the Millennium Falcon. And as you can see, the original version of the Millennium Falcon looked a lot like Eagle One, so he had to change it. I mean, even after this show went off, I was, middle school maybe when this came out. I still remember this show, and I've been hunting and looking for it for years trying to find it, which leads us to the physical copy right here. This is the complete series right here. And you can see it's still shrink wrap right here. This is one right here, since it's so hard to find. Probably not that hard to find now. You can get it off of eBay or Amazon. I'm going to leave it in here in this shrink wrap here, sealed for a little while longer. Maybe I'll get another copy to watch, but I think I'm going to leave it on this right here because this is really was one of my favorite TV shows growing up as a kid. That's Space 1999. This is KDS Reviews, and this is a small commentary about a cult TV show, Space 1999. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. Maybe you're one of my older viewers. You remember Space 1999. Won't you comment down below? Tell me what you thought about it, some of the episodes you remember. And if you want to see another, not show, but movie about somebody being hurled through space on a mission, then watch this video right here. This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.